Well, first of all, let me say WWE 2K22, 2 years in the making. This game came out roughly 2 years after the abysmal 2K20. And the first thing I want to say about 2K20 is I didn't think it was that bad. I didn't experience any of the heavy glitches that some did, and I thought it played okay. There were a couple of things I did notice, especially when it came to certain little issues, but other than that, it was alright for me. But with 2K22, does it hit different? Yeah, I'm going to give it some critique to it. I'm going to say that it does hit different when it comes to the graphics. They look way better than 2K20. The camera angles, the angle of the camera has definitely changed. It's not the same as it has been in the other 2K games. So you do see a little bit of some adjustment, as well as how the game plays in general. More has a arcadey feel as it relates to like fighting games. So you can do a lot of combos as it relates to sitting up moves and so forth. The movement of the moves are very smooth, and you definitely do notice it when you play the game. The learning curve is not as hard as older games, because anybody can literally pick this up and literally learn it, and within a little bit of no time to be able to play it and be able to get a feel of how the game actually plays, the mechanics and so forth. It is like a little bit different, but it's not. You can still do certain things that you have done for years in the other games, but it takes a little bit in and out. And of course, they do have a tutorial that'll show you how to do all that with Drew Gulak. That being said, there are certain issues that I do have about the game. I did have an issue where my game froze, and this was recent, and it basically kicked me out of the game itself. And I noticed that there have been videos where I've seen where people have had issues like that. Overall, as it relates to glitches and certain things like that, I have not seen as many as I've seen in videos of 2K20 before. I will say that I think this game has a lot of building up as it relates to the next game to come out, but it is a solid game in general. 2K19 was pretty decent, and it was pretty good. I felt that at that time Utes was still a part of the developmental team, and they really did put a lot into putting that game out. Of course, WWE, as well as the whole breaking from what 2K felt about Utes, and I do think that the game has its merits. 2K22 is a step forward, it's not a step back. I will say this about customizations. I had a lot of issues with, as it relates to getting custom wrestlers. They were easy to get, but it was little things like if you scroll through certain wrestlers, you would see that they had the same make or face set up and so forth. But other than that, I do think this game has its merits. WWE has done a lot with showcase mode over the years, and with Rey Mysterio's showcase mode, I do think it was needed. Rey Mysterio is a fucking legend. He's been in the WWE for years, and he's been in wrestling since he's been like 16 or so forth. So this was a decent showcase mode with a lot of replay value. Now, that being said, there are certain things in showcase mode where, you know, you have to do the objectives as it relates to any other showcase mode you played over the years, but it's a challenge, and if you have not played it like that, then I have to say, do be warned. Another thing I will say that is very, very in and out is that the MyFACTIONs, I have not really gotten into that. I just recently tried to start MyFACTIONs. I played a little bit of it. I had Becky Lynch taking on another wrestler, and it's okay, but it seems like it's nothing that I would be trying to jump in and out. GM mode, haven't really messed with it. I played GM mode on WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2008 back in the day, and I really did play the hell out of that. I don't know, man. It's at least a lot of limitations on there, especially when it comes to titles. You can't do tag team belts and all that stuff. You can only do the heavyweight title and the women's title. So yeah, that's a lot of just but they probably will improve on that. That being said, as it relates to my rise, been playing a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit, getting an idea of how to fill it in and so forth. Created a wrestler and all that, and Created Wrestler is actually pretty decent as well. But I would have to say that WWE 2K22 is a game that if you want it, get it. I put an arm and a leg, if you will, because I did get the NWO edition. It's not a physical copy, which is kind of making me. That's another thing about it. Like, why the hell would you sell this 100? I think I paid 120 plus bucks for the NWO edition, and that's cool. And you have the NWO sold out arena. You of course have Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and all of them in their NWO different gears and stuff. But man, wouldn't it have been just too sweet if they would have had an actual physical copy of a game for it? I guess, you know. And it's cool that you got the Undertaker, the different versions of the Undertaker and all that stuff. But like I said there and said, it's a born identity of what you feel. If you felt like you was fucking screwed when it came to WWE 2K20, then you know. But I'm telling you, this WWE 2K22 is not like WWE 2K20. But yeah, I will say that it's a good game. It's playable, it's replayable. You can do a lot of shit on it. Another thing, I haven't really tried the online like that yet, but I've heard a lot of bad things about that. And I know that when I did go toward the online court end to try to get into one, I was not able to because it was not functioning. So that's a thing, that's a question mark. But yeah, this has been a quick review. I would probably say this game is something that's worth getting, especially when an updated roster. But then again, most of the wrestlers on this roster have not, quote unquote, not been treated well. They, of course, were released. So yeah, that's sad. But yeah, this is Jughead82 signing off. This has been my review of WWE 2K22.